everybody. I have a new acquisition, came in, and I'll spare you the box opening, so I just took this information. It's an R3943 Express Dairy Ruston and Hornsby 48DS040 with a platform wagon. It is to date on just an engine and its accompanying wagon, the most expensive addition to my collection of engines so far. It came in at $188.21 from Hornby through Amazon, but the UK division. And so let me show it to you right now. Now this is, without a doubt, my most famous or my most favorite engine at the moment. Now it's got some heft to it. You know, this is all die cast. All of it is die cast. So it's got some heft to it. It's beautiful. The guy didn't come with it, so I placed the guy in there and kind of glued his, with a little dab of glue, glued his feet down. So he's the conductor of it. His name is Eugene. And as you already know, if you've watched my other videos, I like to memorialize the town people, giving them names and such, because to me, I'm building a small little world here, just like kids do now on computers, you know, world building and empire building. We build our own little worlds on our layouts. Anyway, this is the Express Dairy. On the back it says Express Dairy, and on here it says milk only. And the detail, the wording and such is pretty darn good. I like the wheels, very nice. And what I really like, if you can see, is that the wheels on the engine, that's pure chrome there. It's one solid chrome piece. It's not spoked, and I really like that. Now, I want to tell you something about the detail about this thing that almost gave me a heart attack. You see those rails right there? Those are separately fitted rails. And yesterday when I was trying to fit the guy in, because it just looked awkward without, you know, an engineer in there. So I have some HO size people, and I chose one that I think would fit with his long jacket and sleeve jacket on and his boots on. But you can see those handrails right there. And while I was putting them in, this one on this side, let me get my pointer so I can point for you. The one on this side, and sorry for my shaky hands, but my hands are kind of shaky as I age here. I'm 66, you know. But anyway, this one came out, and you see it just came out now because my hand was shaking. But you see right there, there's a tiny little hole. I thought I broke it, and so I was beside myself. But there's a tiny little hole right there, and you can pop it back in. So I'll do that again. When I was shaking, my hand was shaking with this pointer, I knocked it out again. But you can put it, you line it up with that hole and you press it and it'll pop right back in. That's the level of detail on this thing. Let me try right now. See if I can do it while I'm online. See, it's kind of lined up with the hole now, sorta. And then you press it and see, it popped right back in. So it's right back in again. Fitting snug. Obviously not that snug if I can knock it out that easily. But it's a separately fitted detail. That is an incredible level of detail, don't you think? And on the other side, you got the same handrails. Now, I'm not fooling. I didn't knock this one out because I didn't put anybody on this side. But the wording now, milk only, and the PAL3, and I'm trying to get it so you can see it. The load is 10-ton load. And this is a little Express Dairy engine that is mostly, that I'm going to use it in my town setting. And this is Eugene, the conductor, or the engineer. He's a retired railroad guy. Just a backstory on him a little bit. And he came back to this town after he retired because this is where he was born. in Four Rivers Valley, and there was an opening for a engineer to drive this little bugger around and deliver milk to the community that Ellie Mae down at the other end of the layout produces. She's a dairy farmer, and he delivers that in the town to the homes, to the church, to the sawmill guys that like it, and he also brings some of her milk to a switch track that he goes on to, and then the express trains come through on the main line, and they pick up milk and they take it to the other counties, the other townships along the big valley here. This is Four River Valley right here, but there are other valleys and townships going west and east. And so he does that, and he also collects firewood in the wintertime from the sawmill, puts it on the back of this wagon, even if it says milk only. Sometimes it's carrying chopped firewood, and he delivers it. And I'll show you the track layout later so that you can make sense of what I'm saying. And he delivers it throughout the town to the residents and the shops, and of course out to Ben and Ellie Mae's ranch/farm, and to the church, and so on. So anyway, I wanted to show you that because it is like the most fat. Now you can take this out, but I'm not too familiar with that connection there, and so I don't want to pull it because, you know, I don't know if it can come apart. I don't know the connection thing very well yet, and I don't want to fool with it. Excuse me. For fear that I might snap something that won't pop right back in like the rail. So that's it right there. And on the front it says Ruston in the front. I don't know if you can read that or not. It says Ruston. It's hard to focus it. And there's no spring buffers here. I wish they had put the spring in. I mean, they did so much fine detail with the railings and such, and then they didn't put springs in the buffers. To me, I'm not going to minus points on the overall average for that, but, you know, it's something that I was a little disappointed in. But isn't it gorgeous? Okay, so now we're going to put it on the catwalk, and we're going to do some we're going to look at how it performs, some of the performance of it. I'll be right back. Okay, so now the little express dairy engine and carry car ready for their catwalk. Now I'm going to just turn a little bit of the power on, and it crawls really nicely. And again, when it crawls like this, you know that the chassis and the engine are balanced perfectly for each other, because it doesn't struggle at all. Now let's try to crawl backwards. And you see, very slow crawl, but very smooth. It's not jerking. So everything's working well. Now, the axles and the wheels obviously are spinning very nicely. There are no separate bearings on the axles. They're just attached. And I find that to be the better way to go, to tell you the truth, because when you have separately fitted bearings on those axles, they just naturally, they're going to cause a drag. And that keeps the train, I think, from running most efficiently. Now, some people like those bearings, and I like them. They look great in place. But I think just for the free willingness of the axles and the wheels to move on the track, it's better to be without those bearings. Now, on the higher end of trains, like this one is, you see those bearings a lot. But for me, I prefer not having the bearings in there. And let's put it through her paces one more time. She's still going in reverse. So let's again, she goes a little faster. Let's take her back slowly on a crawl again. Look at that. Such a slow crawl. You know, which means the engine is powerful, more than powerful enough for this engine to get it to run so smoothly at such a slow speed. So the synchronicity between the chassis and the engine, in my view, is spot on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her go around the track, and I'm going to kind of free hold the camera so you can see that, and then I'll point out some of the different tracks that I've laid for this Ruston to run on intra-town, inside the main line. But let's take her around the main line first. Now, like I said, it's pretty expensive, $188.88 or something, and it's because of how small it is. It's not delicate. It's made very well, but it looks more delicate to me. So I'm kind of anxious about having it on the main line, because as you can see, off the main line, I got no protection or anything at this stage. And I'm afraid if she takes that dive off the main track, it's going to be hell to pay. Okay, so let's put it through her paces around the track for a while. Let me just take this camera off so I can follow her. So now we're going to follow her around the track. And I've been having problems with this portion of my track. I got to change it. I've noticed that the black easy track gets bogged down or dirty really quickly, I would assume, and the trains slow down on it. And that's very frustrating, as we all know. See, watch it slow down now. I gotta change that piece of track, but if I push her, she'll start going again and finally hit the gray track and she'll go again. So that stretch of track right there I gotta get rid of. And I will be doing that. There she goes around town. So now I'm going to switch her to the intra track, introduce you to my inner track, and some update. Okay, I'm back. So we got her on the intra track, which is inside of the main track, to serve the township, as it were. And I made some upgrades to the layout, putting in some trees, and that's the police department right there. Chief Paul runs the police department. And we've got a little piazza there. I got some small tables coming in. And this, of course, is L's Fishing Supplies. And we've got Ben and Ellie Mae's farm over here. And some residential area. And I'm going to have more houses for there. And our church. And, of course, our sawmill and the lunch truck. Now, I wanted to introduce you to Flynn. Flynn inherited his station agent house and a little bit of property around it from his boss, who he used to work with, because he's a train enthusiast and he used to work at a train shop. Just as some backstory on Flynn. And when his boss died, the boss left him this place, and he moved out here, which is, you know, far away from where he used to work in the main county section of this area. So he lives there, and he always joins Roger, that runs the lunch van. So he's running to get his morning coffee now, because the morning shift from the mill is getting off, and they're going to suck up all the coffee if he doesn't go get his. So anyway, that's what's happening on the town. But here on the track, the internal track, we've got a switch here, and that switch will take Eugene in his Ruston Express all the way to the sawmill. And as you can see, we got some cut firewood there. And what he'll do during the winter months is he'll fill up his flat car, and he'll deliver firewood to the church, of course, the residences, the businesses, and there'll be other businesses that I put along this business corridor here in the future, and all the way out to Ben and Ellie Mae's ranch. Now, the reason we have another line going all the way out to Ben and Ellie Mae's is that the Milk Express, Dairy Express, is actually used for carrying dairy as well. And what will happen is that Eugene will take his Ruston every morning, and he goes all the way out to Ben and Ellie Mae's place. And Ellie Mae usually has about 8 or 10 refrigerated milk canisters that they load up. And what Ben would do then is he'd reverse all the way back down, but take the cutoff to go to the station agent house. And he offloads the milk canisters there, refrigerated milk canisters, about 3.5 gallons each. So that, you know, you can carry them yourself, one person. And then what Flynn does is Flynn keeps them with him until the freight trains come around on the main line, and they stop right there because they know Flynn has milk, and this is every morning. And they take the milk and they take it to the different townships. Now, that away is east, and so that away is west, and they take it west and east and drop it off at different stores and facilities and residences in the other townships. So that's what basically Eugene's job is with the Express Dairy engine. Loves it. It's his retirement gig. Just loves doing it, and he's giving back to his town and making the town better. And as you can see, I've done some expansion or some filling out off the layout. It looks pretty good to me. I'm just loving it more and more every day. And let's just bring Eugene back with the little engine. Bring him all the way back down to the end of the track out at Ellie Mae's place. Put it in the right direction. Oh, wrong one, sorry. I was using the main track. And he can go, and you see the trees, it looks great. So we'll just run him all the way out to Ellie Mae's and Ben's place. Stop him right there. Sorry for the finger in the way of the camera again. I'm still working on my camera skills. I know I always use that excuse, but I am. And this is freehand, so it's a little harder. So that is the update. I hope you enjoyed it. And my new acquisition of the Express Dairy engine with the milk-only flat car that is going to do double duty with firewood as well in the wintertime. I hope you guys enjoy, and we will see you next time.